So basically, chat, this is what we're doing today. So right now, this tier list that I'm making is gonna be for the most, how I say this, the best controller killers, like the best killers for controller players. We're doing the tier list for all my people that own one of these bad boys. Not only are we gonna rank the killers based on like obviously how good they are, but also how good they are to play on controller, like their skill ceiling, like how good you could potentially get with them, you know, compared to your mouse and keyboard folks. As you know, mouse and keyboard players, they seem to be able to do everything, you know. Because playing killer on controller is not the easiest thing to control. So we gonna start with the good boy Trapper, man. So honest to God, the Trapper is a great killer for controller players, bro. He's mad simple. He's an M1 killer. You just run around, you just whack backs, you place down traps. It should be pretty straightforward. But the problem is he is also one of the weaker killers in the game against a pretty good team. So like you can't put him in S or A because he's just not that good. He obviously is really good for the M1s and shit. He's a killer that I feel like very controller friendly, but at the same time his skill level is not that high. Like you can do almost the same thing that you see people do on mouse and keyboard, you know? So it's not really a difference in my opinion. It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same, right? So in my opinion, I think I will put him somewhere between C. I'll put him around B or C tier. Like if I had to pick, I would say like C plus, bro. I don't want to put him in B, but I'll put him somewhere in there. If you're a really good player, you could get some value out of him. So I think C or I would say kind of B or C. I'm more stuck on the C though. I think he would be more in the C tier. He's just not that good of a killer against really good teams, you know? Now, we're going to move on to the WRAITH. The WRAITH is an immaculate killer. Immaculate killer for controller players. The skill gap with him, bro, you could do the same exact things people do on mouse and keyboard. Like literally nothing's different. You could do mimic anything. All you got to do is literally dong, dong, whap. Right upside their heads. The same exact concept. A really good starter killer, but also the WRAITH has a lot of variability to his playstyle. You could do a bunch of different things with him. It's a really good killer. So I think he's a bit better than the Trapper. And for controller, like he's more friendly to controller players. And he's just a better killer than the Trapper. I think the WRAITH would be like B tier, in my opinion. I think B for the WRAITH is smooth, bro. M1, you could literally use him and do the same exact thing mouse and keyboard players do. There's no difference between him and on controller and mouse and key. It's the same thing. He's a literal M1 killer, bro. It's no difference at all. No difference. I don't think you can reach a skill level that you can match up with a PC player. You know what I'm saying? You can match it with a mouse and key player. We're gonna move on to Billy. So this is a very interesting one right here. So I personally know some really good Billies on controller, chat. Yeah, since his latest update, it's made him one of the strongest killers in the game. I just think if you were really good, you could kind of use him on controller and do well. Problem is, I feel like for most players, they can't reach that next level like mouse and keyboard players. But there's certain things that you can't do on controller that you could do on mouse and key that I think set like it won't put him in the S tier. It'll put him in the A tier though. Yeah, can we agree on that? I think A tier is smooth. I think A tier is good. I think A tier is really, really good. You know, I think you could be a demonic Billy on the stick, so you won't be bad. Like, you will literally be good. You can be good with him on the sticks, 100%. So now we move on to the nurse. This is the interesting one. We move on to the nurse. So as you guys know, I am a self-proclaimed nurse hater. I'm one of the biggest nurses haters that y'all ever meet. Fuck her. She's also one of the best killers in the game, but on a personal note, I struggle with her severely. I do struggle with her a bit on controller. You guys know I'm a controller killer, and I know this tier list is about compatibility with controller for these killers, obviously, and their strength in the game too. But I think she's just a bit hard to use a controller, and I think on mouse and key she's so much easier to use. But if you take the time to practice and use her, you could make her decent. So I'm saying overall, to compete with the mouse and keyboard players, you're really not gonna be able to keep up with them, bro. I really think you can't keep up with them. The level of skill like you need to have to basically be a really good nurse on controller on the sticks is just very high, bro. So due to her strength alone and just being such a good killer, I would put her like in the B tier. But she's still really hard to learn, really, really hard. That literally small percentage of people are gonna be able to be that good with her, but she's still really good. I would even go as far as putting her behind Billy. Alright, so what I'm saying is for the majority of people that do want to play killer on controller, she's not gonna be the easiest to learn. She's gonna take a lot of time to learn. But then also she's the nurse, so she's one of the strongest killers. So you could be kind of decent and do well with her, you know? So we out to Michael Myers, my boy Miguel, bruh. We gonna test out my boy Miguel. So look, we know how Mike is in the game. That boy got the tombstone piece. He got the infinite tier 3. Very straightforward killer. M1 killer, bro. You just pop the tombstone, put the knife in their sets. You feel me? So it's easy. Problem is, he's also not one of the strongest killers in the game. He's also pretty, like, he's like around trapper level. He's just not a good killer, but you can use him on controller and it's very easy to use, you know? There's literally very minimal difference between mouse and key and controller with him, like literally very minimal. He's literally just not that good. If you play Michael regularly without the tombstone piece, you're literally just gonna have the most basic like thing of all time, you know? He's literally just not that good. I'm gonna put Mike at C. Like, there's not much of a skill gap you could go. Literally, it's only tombstone and nothing else, bro. Legit. Take away his tombstone and his brother's cooked. I might just put him in the D tier. Yeah, I think we put him D tier, bro. He's just literally not good. I think even the trapper better than bro. So, now we gonna go to Hagiana. You feel me? AKA the Hag. Y'all know who she is, right? The Hag is a very, very interesting killer, bro. If you play a pretty decent team in this game, it'll be kind of tricky. Because they'll all just run through your traps and shit. They'll be on comms. They'll be able to cook you and shit, you know? But she also has very good snowball potential if she gets the ball rolling, which I really think is like underrated about her. But if you do have a very competent team that runs through her traps, cleanses them, and they're just on point, she's not the best. And also the skill gap, you could pretty much do the same exact things people do on mouse and key. So in my opinion, I would put her probably like a little higher than the trapper for now. This is just the for now list. We could fix it up at the end, and I'll tell you my final feelings, you know. But I think for now, I think she'll be like a high C. She's pretty low. If you play a pretty decent coordinated team, you're gonna get pooped on. But I do think against a solo queue, she will cook 100%. Hell yeah. We've all played against a Hag in solo queue and she's just a menace, bruh. We're gonna go on to the Doctor. I think Doc is one of the good controller killers. You can use Doc on controller and be pretty decent. You can pretty much do the same things that you could do on mouse and key. The most you could do really is just base him off of the strength of him being a killer. Off the strength of him being just a killer he is. I think for controller players, he's a little under the WRAITH. I think the WRAITH is better than Doc. The WRAITH can be a bit more annoying if they play a certain way, you know? They're both neck and neck. I'm honest to God, they're literally just... they're neck and neck. I think I'm gonna leave it like this though. I'm gonna just make a decision. I'm gonna stand on business. I think WRAITH is, yeah, WRAITH will be just a little bit, got the edge on the Doc just a little bit. But I appreciate y'all. Listen, in the comment section of this video on YouTube, I need y'all to let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think I'm tripping for putting WRAITH ahead of the Doctor or no? So we're gonna move on to my baby moms, my beloved. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know how I feel about the Huntress. Y'all know how I feel about the Huntress. Y'all know how I feel, bruh. I gotta put my bias aside, alright? I gotta put my bias aside. As y'all know, I am a Huntress main on controller. It is unconventional. It's not the most common thing you see. And the amount of people in this damn chat and that's gonna watch this video on YouTube, you guys are literally gonna try to sit here and tell me, oh, I tried to play the Huntress on controller and you struggled. Be honest, you know? It's not easy. I literally played, bro. I got hundreds of hours with the Huntress on controller. She is not easy killer to use, bro. You can be a bit inconsistent with it, but off of the strength of her, in my opinion, being a pretty good killer in this game, like really good, if you take the time to learn her on controller and be pretty decent with her, you can do some stuff with her. But I think the skill gap between her on controller and mouse and key is just really different. So in my opinion, I think even with me being a Huntress main, I would say she's like B tier because she's not that hard to use, bro. She's a very forgiving killer, in my opinion. I think we put her B. I think B is fair. Because you're not, mouse and keyboard Huntresses are just, they're superior. Let's be real, they're just better. Now we're gonna go to Bubba Sawyer. Bubba! I don't know if you guys have watched the mouse and keyboard Bubba, that's really good. But these motherfuckers' skill gap is really high, super high. And using him on controller is not the easiest to navigate. And I could tell you, I played a lot of hours all these killers, bro. You know, it's harder to control. It's not impossible, even with him getting a buff and his collision getting upgraded and shit, so he doesn't just tap the wall and you know? So if I had to be honest with you guys, I'll put him in the C tier. I'll put him on the low C, not a high C. He's just not that good to use on controller. So now we go to the best killer in the game. Freddy, right? We're all well acquainted with Freddy. Freddy is by far one of the weakest killers in the game. We know this. Best killer in the game.
Best killer in the game.
Best killer in the game.
He's literally one of the weakest killers in the game. All of us can cook him. All of us has cooked the Freddy before. I love the killer. He's a lot of fun to use for me personally. Like, I love him. His aura is through the roof. If this was an aura tier list, this is where Freddy would be. Right here. He's just not a good killer. Let's be real. He's pretty much the same. He's an M1 killer, same shit on controller. And mouse and key, there's not really a skill gap between the two. In my opinion, you could do the same exact things you do on mouse and key on controller. This is a very controller friendly killer, but he's also just super weak. So I'll just put him about here.
I'm Peppa Pig.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about Miss Piggy. So now we're onto the pig. I know where she is. She's somewhere in here between these two, C and D. She's just not that good of a killer, but also there's not much of a skill cap between mouse and key and controller players because it's pretty much the same. You could do the same thing. It's literally no skill gap. There's no difference in the killers, but it's also just like she's just not the best of killers, bro. Like if we're being completely honest, she's just not the best. I think she's a little bit better than the trapper for controller players. Also, skill gap is not really that high, so we're just gonna toss her in right about there. I think the hag is just a little bit better than her. Now we're on to Kenneth, the motherfucking clown, bro. You're very, very frustrating killer to play against, and if you don't know what you're doing against him, which most people don't know what they're doing, you can whack some ass, bro. So honest opinion, if you got half decent aim, you could pretty much do the same thing you do on mouse and key on controller. I think he's very strong on controller. You could use him on controller and get in some backs. You could do people dirty. You can put him right near the Wraith and the Nurse for controller. Really easy to use. He's not too hard. The skill gap is not much of a difference between mouse and controller. It's the same thing pretty much. He's an M1 killer. He just tosses piss bottles, that's all. So I think I'll put him even above the Nurse. The Nurse is obviously a higher skill gap, but this isn't about her being so good. We obviously know the Nurse is probably the best killer in the game, right? Cool. But you can't compete with the best in a controller using the Nurse. If you're using the Nurse, you gotta use Master Key to really fry people up, you know? This is more so for controller compatibility as well as the strength of the killer and how good you can be with them, in my opinion, okay? Now, this is where shit is gonna get interesting. I think we finally have our first S tier killer. She is fucking strong. You could use her controller, mouse, and keyboard. If your headset is on 130% volume, yo, you're cooking. You're cooking. You're cooking. Simple and plain. If you are just good, like if you're literally just good, you can violate anybody. Legitimately, she is in a class of her own. If you are a controller killer and you want to use somebody that can literally compete with anybody, grab her right there. She will get you right. I promise you. She will hook you up. Put a headset on, you put the volume up, you learn how to use her power, you're really good, and you master her. She is insane. You could damn near replicate what you see on Master Key. There's no difference in that. Legit, Spirit is one of the most annoying killers to play against by far. We got Lee John, man. Come on, man. Somebody get this dude out of here. Get this man out of here, bro. Get this motherfucker out of here, bro. We got Lee John on the tier list, bro. Alright, it's the Legion. We all know what the Legion does. The mending simulator, bro. Nobody likes playing against, bro. He's still a pretty decent killer on... He's not one of the best. He's not an S or A, in my opinion. He would finish somewhere within these three. He's a pretty good killer on controller. You play a pretty good team, he's just gonna be a regular M1 killer and you're just relying on yourself. So I don't think he's that good. Like, you know what I'm saying? He will literally just be M1 killer, straight up. We've all played against a Legion and sent them to the cleaners, bro. We've all done this before, bro. All of us. We've all had a Legion and made them miss their freaking thing, or they get hit with a pallet and go like, ow, like, you know? Come on, bro. We've all been here before, bro. I think we just gonna have to rank him in a low C. He's easier to use than Bubba. He's better than the Trapper. So I'll put him somewhere like around here. Yeah, I think he's a little bit better than Manda too. I'm about to shake the room off. I know y'all see who's next. We got the Plague. We got aka Miss Vami Mommy, bruh. She's a very simple killer to use, not that hard. I don't know if you ever played against a really good Plague. She is an amazing killer, bruh. She literally is one of, like, I'm telling you, bruh. You play against a really good Plague, you're gonna have a long night, bruh. You're gonna have a long night. Oh, she gonna be all up on that ass, bro. I'm telling you, she is literally one of the best killers to use a controller. She is very simple, but she's also really, really, really good. Skill ceiling is really high. If you're just good, you could use her and cook. There's not much of a difference between controller and mouse and key, but I had to pause my elevator music for this because it's getting real. So I think Vami Mommy needs to be very high on this list. Shit, I might even put her above Billy. Billy's obviously a better killer, but I think with her, she's super strong. Plus, if you're good, you could get a lot of damage on her, bro. You could do so much stuff.
What's up? What's up?
So now we are on to Ghostface. If you play a really good team, he's not that good, bro, because they're just gonna give comms and then he's just useless, bro. You know, he's not that good. I want you to take it from my perspective. If you're playing against a Swift, for example, on comms and shit, they could give call outs and then it's really hard to play. I mean, really easy to play against him. But solo queue, he's really good. He cooks for sure. But if we're looking at it from a standpoint of controller playability, he is literally same shit. Very easy to play. He's an M1 killer, straightforward. You don't got to do nothing much, you know. So for controller compatibility, shit, he's S. He's easy, you know, very easy. So I will put him like a low B per se. He's better than Hag for me, for sure. Alright, we'll come back to this. We're on my boy Demo Dog, man. So in my opinion, Demogorgon, if you guys watched the 1v1 tournament, I had to play with Demogorgon and I did pretty fucking good. I think he's a pretty decent killer for controller. Problem is with me, for him, is his turn radius is not the same on controller and mouse and keyboard. Mouse and key, you get a little extra, like you could turn a little bit. You could catch him right on the side, you feel me? It feels a little different, just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit. But I still think there's not much you could do on mouse and key that you can't do a controller. Pretty much the same. But Demo's also a killer that most players struggle against. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. So he's definitely not no C tier killer. Between B and A, he's somewhere around here. I don't think quite Plague, but I think somewhere right here, like high B. For controller players, if you're gonna pick between the Doc and Demo, you pick the Wraith. I mean the Wraith and Demo, you pick the Wraith over Demo. I think this is smooth. I think we rock with this. Going to my boy Oni. Oni is a really good killer. The problem with Oni on controller is that you only can hit 90-degree hits. You can't get 180 flicks, bruh. On controller. Let me make this clear again. On controller. 180s are not essential to basically getting the hits, but they're really good. They're really good to have. If you had that as your thing, you know, you could do your thing. If you play against a really good team and you're struggling to get that first hit, I've played teams and they try to deny me the first hit for like 2 gens. You get the first down, it's already 2-3 gens popped and the game is against you. Even in your power, you can still get cooked too. I still think he's pretty good if you put double speed add-ons, in my opinion. If you put double speed add-ons on Oni, he's really good at controller, because sometimes you're too fast for people to react. I think we could put him in like, he's better than Doctor, in my opinion. Yeah, I think he's better than Doc. Even on controller, he's better than Doc. He might be a little bit better than Demo too. We're on to Mr. DEATHSLINGER. DEATHSLINGER is not the easiest controller killer to use, bro. You have no aim assist, and if you don't come from an FPS background like me with Call of Duty, he is just literally not an easy killer to use at all. I personally could do okay with him. He's just not good though. He's just not good, to be honest with y'all. I have to put somebody down here, and I think he shoe fits right there. So in my humble opinion, I'm gonna put him here, bro. I think wait, not lower than Mikey, the fuck no. I think yeah, I'm put him not low, but I'll put him like here, bro. If you're a controller killer, you're just not gonna do that good with him. The average person is not gonna cook with DEATHSLINGER on controller, bro. Let's be real. You play against a really good team, your ass is gonna be shooting bricks at the free throw line like Shaq. Let's be honest. It's another banger right here. Hey, you know what I'm trying to say? He is not a bad killer to use a controller by any means. I think Pyramid Head is actually really good to use a controller. If you understand the killer, you take your time to learn the killer, he is good. You know? Really good to use a controller. You just gotta be good with him, that's all. If you're good with him, he is a problem, like a literal problem. You could tunnel like fuck with him. If you get them to step in your the right to judgment, you could do really good things with him, I promise you, against really good teams. You could literally manage the turn really well. It's not bad. It's very simple. I played enough hours with him. I've done enough with him to know now that yeah, he's good. I don't want to put him in the low A tier, but he's literally that good. He's like, for me, he's between A and B, a high B or a low A. You know? It's between one of them. In my opinion, we gotta put it between one of those. High B or low A. It's between one of them. I might just put him low A, because he's just such a good killer. Such a good killer. Amazing killer. In fact, he's really good. Really good. If you're a pretty decent player at the game and you pick him up and you just read people's movements, you take the time to learn him on controller, he's fucking raw. Shit, he's probably even stronger than Plague, but I think Plague could hold the game longer. Like if a Plague wants to hold you in a match and she plays really patient and she's really smart, she's a problem. You know what I'm saying? She's a problem. She's a very big problem. She's a threat, the menace to society. This damn killer, y'all sleeping, but she wears black Air Forces, trust me. On to the boy, that man, the BLIGHT. So this is a pretty tough one for me, chat. So I think pre-nerf, before they took away hug text and stuff, I think he was like fucking one of the easier ones. He was like in the A tier for me. Since they took away hug text, you gotta play very optimal now with him, you know? Which makes it a bit tough on controller, specifically controller again. You know, it's a bit difficult on controller. With him not having hug text and stuff, you can't really be freaky with the little flicks and do all that stuff because you were able to do it before. Now it's like you gotta play very box standard. So it's tough. I don't know where to rank him in the sense of between like one of these, A or B, because he's still a really good killer. He's still fucking one of the best in the game. He's a problem It's just now it's pretty boring. You literally have to play him optimal. When I say optimal, you literally have to just follow people and take what you can get. Don't do nothing extravagant. There's nothing extravagant you could do with him. No, everything is very straightforward, like, and plain, you know? And I think the nerf to him literally kind of made him harder for controller players, bro. But he's still a very strong killer. And the skills ceiling between mouse and key and controller is still pretty different. A mouse and key blight is still one of the best in the game. But a controller can't really compete with a mouse and key blight at all. Like, not even close. I still think on controller though, he's still a very decent killer. I know we've all played the blight before on controller, right? One of the biggest problems I have with him is that when you bump against a wall and you get close to someone, you can get spunt a bit easier. You have to literally be in kissing distance to get the swing off to hit them when you bump and stuff. So it's a bit difficult. Mouse and key, you're not really gonna spin a blight that much because the accuracy is just much easier to just control it. So I still think him, or the strength of him being as good as he is, you can still compete with really good teams. So I'll just put him high. I'll put him high. Alright? So next we got the twins. We got the twins. We got the twins. We got the twins, bro. We got the damn twins, bro. The twins of doom. Man. So on a personal note, and this is me being this is me just sharing a personal experience. I'm not the best with the twins on controller, but I can be real with you guys. It is not that much of a difference, bro. It's pretty much the same, bro. It's not that much of a difference. The twins is still a very viable killer on controller. You can do some naughty things with her, bro. You know, she's still pretty decent. You don't even need to be that good. You could just use her kind of the same way, bro. If you're just patient, you take your time, you aim, boom, you can still get knocks pretty consistently. It's not that bad. I just suck with her personally. I'm not that good. I didn't take no time to really practice her, but I know she's still annoying. The twins is always gonna be the twins, bro. Just being the twins alone, you can do some real damage with this killer, bro. 100%. So in my opinion, I would rank them probably right below. Right below. I say right below. You can be a really good, bro. If you main the twins on controller, you can do some really nice things in my opinion. Like, alright, I'm gonna try my best to be unbiased, but I hate this damn killer so much, chat. We're obviously rating him based on his viability on controller. I don't think he's that good on controller, bro. Like, it's hard to use him on controller, chat. Mouse and keyboard tricksters can be literally like one of, like, bro, up here. Like, deadass. Mouse and keyboard tricksters could deadass hang with the best. So annoying to play against, but he's a really good killer. He is a pretty decent killer on mouse and keyboard specifically, but on controller, it is supremely hard to, like, control his aim. It's not easy. It's really hard to control it. Even with his buff of making his blades not like RNG based, it's more so straight, it's still hard, bro. So I think with all that being said, if we're talking about usability, I still think he's a little bit better than DEATHSLINGER. I'm putting him really low, by the way. This is not me hating on him because I don't like the killer. I just don't think he's that viable. We're gonna drag my boy. We're gonna put him a little bit ahead of DEATHSLINGER because I think Slinger is still probably better than him, bro. No cap. Nah. You know what that gives him the edge a little bit, in my opinion? Let me be decisive, bro. That gives him just the smallest edge, bro. They're both range killers, but he's a 4.6.
But I might think he's scary. I'm not going. Oh!
We move on to my boy Balumba, aka Debo, aka Nemesis, bro. Man, I got a picture of him with a Henny bottle in his hand, a Yankee fitted, and some Tim's on, bro. Save and edit that into this video, bro. Put that shit on the screen, bro. Y'all gonna see it like here or something. He just got buffed today, chat. I'm recording this video today. He got buffed today, and it made his whip. It made it easier to attain tier 3. Well, to upgrade the tiers in general. Also, tier 3, the whip is like 6 meters longer or some shit. So I've played a lot of games with Nemesis, chat, and I could tell you guys, bro, the shit you see mouse and keyboard players do, you could do the same exact thing. And he's a pretty decent killer in his own. Like, he holds his weight somewhat. I think, honest to God, shit, I'll go as far as I think he's better than the twins. So he's gonna get a high rating from me for sure. You put corrupt on, you slow down the gem progress, you get the tiers of your whip up, he is going to be a problem. I will go as far as putting bro like here. I'll go as far as putting bro like here, right above her. If you guys disagree with me, make sure y'all put it down in the comment section.
I came.
We got Freaky Chainman, aka CENOBITE, bruh. In my opinion, he's a pretty decent killer on controller. He's not bad. I think if you take the time to learn how to use his chains on controller, he is not bad, bro. And if you use fucking Impal and Wire and all them other shits, you can fucking cook on controller. I promise you. It's just for the vast majority, aiming that little chain is gonna be really, really, really hard. It's not gonna be easy, you know? Most controller players that pick him up and try to get in the fog with him on controller is just not gonna be easy, bro. Because but it's also very simple. You take the chain, you follow behind the person's path and drop it right in front of them, and then hit him with the chain. Most people struggle to do just that simple thing. You also can get your chains juked very easily on controller. If a person notices that you're kind of like janky with the chains, they're gonna start moving before you even place down your chains, you know? The potential for him to juke the chains kind of fuck it up really bad. So if I had to give him a tier, I think he's a little bit better than the hag though, because he could cause a lot of pressure. A lot of people don't know how to play against him. Even really good players, they struggle sometimes for some odd reason. But I do think he's a little bit better than Hagiana, right? So I'm gonna have to edit the list just a little bit, bro. So we're gonna have to pull down, I think we're gonna have to pull down Ghostface. I think we're gonna have to pull down Ghostface. We're gonna pull down Ghostface to about here. On to the next killer. This is gonna ruffle a couple of feathers. I'm about to put the artist somewhere that I'm probably gonna get a few people upset. But I think the skill gap with the artist is not that far from controller. She's literally super easy to use if you know how to literally zone people and you're smart and you have the knowledge to play with the artist. She literally is so easy to use, and you get free hits, free downs, and you could put pressure on people ridiculously hard at any level in this game. I think she'll go in the S tier for controller players. You can play with the artist on any level and do really well, bro. I think she's a really high A, but we also need to put some people up here, bro. Either she goes a really high A or S, bro. I'm like stuck between the two. She is a really, really good killer. Really good killer. On controller, on PC, on mouse and keyboard, anything, you could really, really violate her, I promise you. But she's good for so many reasons. If you guys know, you know. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. I think she's really, really good though. I'll pull her about right here. I think right here is good for her. We're gonna go to my girl ONRYO. She's a really good killer on controller because she's an M1 killer. She's nothing special to do with her. Literally just teleport to TVs and attack people, you know? Very simple, very straightforward killer. But she could get rolled very easily, bro. Like, I'm being honest with you guys. She could literally get rolled very easily, bro. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that, but I don't think she's that good of a killer, man. She's just not the hardest to play against, bro. Legit, if you just grab tapes and shit, bro, she's pretty useless, bro. You grab a tape of the TV that's nearest to you so you could destroy her mobility. Then when she pull up on you, you give her a tour of the map. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple, bro. She can pile up pressure really quick if she's pretty decent, you know? Simply because of her mobility and the fact that she has like the movement speed to move around the map pretty quick with them TVs, and they can spam teleport. That's easy to do on controller. It doesn't require much mechanical skill. It's very simple, very straightforward. I would probably put her like right here.
Hi, how are you?
Now we're gonna go to the Dredge, bruh. So the Dredge is one of my favorite killers in the game for multiple reasons. He recently got a buff today, but we're not gonna talk about the buff Dredge just yet. I'm making this tier list before technically I played with the buff Dredge. I played with him on the PTB, and I could tell you he's literally so good to use. It's so easy to use, you know? It's the same thing. Put the damn clone down and move around. Shadow clone jitsu, wrap around and whop out. So simple. He is so easy to use a controller, but he's also a really good killer and fun killer to play against. And all of that. If you take your Dredge and play against a pretty good team though, that's where shit starts to get a bit tricky. But I do think he's still one of the best. I think like he's so tough, literally so tough. I still think he's super hard. Even before in the last update, he was tough. I kind of want to put him right here. Like right ahead of Nemi. I know this is gonna upset some people, but if you disagree with me, just comment. The buff Dredge, he's super map dependent, and I'm aware of this. If you play in a map with no damn lockers, this motherfucker is useless at times, you know? It's just it's between these two. It could either go either way. I think Nemi is more, how do I say this? He's more reliable. So his reliability, I would get it if he would be a little bit ahead. But he is pretty map dependent, so that literally is the only thing that separates these two, bro. I swear, if maps have better lockers and they were just better for Dredge, he would be insane to use.
7 minutes.
It done got serious, bruh. Wesker is in the building, aka Whiskers, bruh. Shit done got serious, bruh. You can't do everything that mouse and keyboard players can do, but he is so much fun on controller, bro. I kid you not. You can really bust people up on controller with him. I promise you, bro. I play with this guy all the time. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really lose often, bro, because he's so good. Playing Wesker now, since the update, it changed a bit. So what Wesker used to do before, if you were playing against a really good team and you wanted to tunnel somebody really bad to get them out and you're playing against a good team, what you would do is you would slam somebody, hook them, they'll come off the hook and their little their infection would already be on like 50%. So then they'll become how to say this, they'll become hindered literally in like 30 seconds, bro. So even if they're juicing for 30 seconds, they become hindered, and then they're the easiest kill of all time, and boom, you could kill somebody super fast. Super fast. The problem now is though, they updated now, so instead of it being probably like 30 seconds, it's about a minute. You know? They fucked it up a bit. It used to be easy to tunnel with him, so now it's not that easy. So that alone, not being able to kind of like wipe somebody out really quick, it makes it tough. You play a really good team, you're not gonna be able to catch that person for about a minute if they're good, you know? With VCD, it was kind of too much. Yeah, it was, bro. It was way too much. So I'm saying now with this new update, it's pretty tough, bro. It is pretty tough. I still think he's a hella good killer controller though. Like, I would use him over Twins. I would use him over half of these killers up here. You know? I think if you're a really competent player and you take your time to get really good with Wesker, you can be a problem on controller. Like, a really big nuisance, chat. I don't know if he slots in behind... I know he's better than Nemesis. He's better than freaking Dredge and the Twins, bro. So he's going somewhere around here. I think this is the one for me. If we're going to put Wesker somewhere on this list, we're going to put him, like, right there. Right there.
Never back down, never what?
So we got the Knight. He recently had another update. They changed the way his killer plays, just a tad bit, not too much. It was a little minor change. I got experience on the killer, but not a shit ton. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've played a good amount of Knight. I play with every single killer a good amount. I don't really like playing him. He's not that fun, but it's also not hard to play with him. He's pretty easy to use, bro. He's not a hard killer to play with at all, bro. If you just track pathing, put the little guard down and jump them, you chilling, bro. Very, very simple. It doesn't require much skill, doesn't require much anything. You could just, like I said before, it's the same concept. If you are good at zoning people, you can literally do really well with this killer, bro. Like, if you just zone people, it's very, very easy, bro. Like, if you zone, he's literally just gonna be good. He's another killer. Zoning will literally benefit you. I think the Knight is somewhere in the B tier though, and if we put him in B, I'm gonna knock somebody down for sure. He goes in the B tier clean. We had to put him somewhere. We'll put him like here. He's pretty simple to use a controller. He's also just a killer a lot of people struggle with, you know? Are
you serious?
One of the most hated people in the fog, bro. Everybody and your mom hates the thick merchant. Wait, I'm sorry. Skull merchant. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. No, she thick though. Everybody don't like the skull merchant, bro. She's pretty straightforward. You toss up a drone and get busy, get active. We all know what the skull merchant does. This goes without saying. Now, all we gotta base it on, there's no like viability difference. Like, there's nothing different. Mouse and key controller, you can do the same things. Obviously, we all annoyed of how she plays, but bro, if you play with a competent team, you can literally do pretty well. Controller, she's gonna cook, bro. She's like around here. The Huntress is a killing machine. If you're pretty decent with the Huntress, you can knock people in 2 seconds and put pounds of pressure upon people. She can't do the same amount of pressure that the Huntress can do. So I think that alone does not put her like above the Huntress. The Huntress is literally so strong. Even if you're not the best player, if you hit 4 hatchets in a row, you got 2 knocks. Like that. Her, you got an M1 4 times. That's it. Or probably like 2 or 3 times if they walk to the little zone thingies, little drones. But my opinion, the Huntress, even if you're on controller, she's strong enough to pile up pressure really quick if you're just hitting your hatchets and just keep going and going. Really strong. Really strong. She's just more mechanically demanding, if that makes sense. So your mechanical skill needs to be a tad bit higher, you know? The next killer in this list out of the last 5 killers is the Singularity, alright? So the thing about Singularity, this killer, in my opinion, is so slept on and really good in the game overall. If we talking about the whole of DBD, he's amazing. Problem with him is, he is very mechanically demanding. If you are not mechanically skilled, this is not going to be a killer that you're going to do well with. You got to do a lot. It's a lot to do. So if you're just not good, it's going to be hard. So for the average player that picks up DBD and wants to pick a killer to use, he's not going to be easy for you to use, bro. It's literally mechanically demanding. And this tier list is based on this right here. Don't forget the whole essence of this tier list, y'all. I do think he's a bit better than Skull Merchant, for sure. Skull Merchant is just annoying to play against. But you play a really good team against a Skull Merchant, you could do well against her, bro. If you was a 4-stack with freaking comms, no Skull Merchant is gonna freaking touch you, bro. Bitches, you can spin her ass up. So I'll put him about here in the C tier. For all my controller players, bro. I'll put him around here. I think like here is good, bro. For sure. He's very mechanically demanding, but he's still good. He's still really good. I think he's really good. Very mechanically demanding, but he's still really good in my opinion. So next in this list, right? We're gonna move on to XENOMORPH. If you don't put turrets on the ground, she is one of the most annoying killers to fucking play against. You can cook up with Xeno, bro. I swear, even if you're playing controller, I think you can be a freaking menace, bro. a literal black Air Force menace, bro. Just walk around. Just, I think that she's just really good in general. I think she deserves to be in the B tier somewhere. She's much better than Demo. She's better than the Doctor. She's better on controller than the Oni. She's better than the Knight. She's even better than the Wraith, surprisingly. She's a freaking menace, bro. Shit, I think she goes somewhere like here. If I had to be honest, I think here, just because, bro. For sure. Xeno is literally such a problem. And her alone is making me want to reconsider some of my placements above her, because I think she could compete with these people on controller. For sure. I think she could compete with Dredge for 100%. Dredge is a little bit biased for me. I'm not gonna lie. As I'm reconsidering my list from looking at her name and just looking at the Xeno, because you know I gotta get through every killer, she is a bit better than Dredge for sure. 100%. Her mobility makes her good. The fact that she has the tail attack makes her good. Like, she's a problem, you know? She's a huge problem. So she all has me sitting here reconsidering the list, you know? For now, I'm gonna let her rest out in B. Y'all know where I'm putting the Gluckster, bro. Right up there. He's one of the easiest killers to use in this damn game on controller. I promise you. Word of my mother, bro. You could literally be a bot. You could pick up Chucky and kill people, bro. You get hidey hole every 8 seconds, bro. It's so easy. You know what I'm saying, bro? You get hidey hole every... Bro, chat. You get hidey hole 8 seconds, bro. 8 seconds. Are you kidding me, bro? Like 8 seconds, bro? Come on, bro. 8 seconds you get hidey hole and you could dash at somebody. Boom. I feel like we don't even need to argue this one right here. This one is set in stone. Chucky should be S tier. Chucky should be S tier for y'all. He is a super easy killer to use a controller. You could damn near flick with him the same way. You could do so much freaky things on controller with him, in my opinion. He is a great killer for controller players. Amazing. We're gonna see what's up with the Unknown. So the Unknown's a really good killer, man, for multiple reasons. The Unknown is a very fun killer to play with, very fun killer to play against, and also a really good killer. And I think the skill gap, you can use him on controller and do some really nasty things with him. Some cap to what you could do, but like not for the most part. You could damn near replicate a mouse and keyboard player on controller. He's just a really strong killer, like straight up. Really strong killer. Like, he's good. He's not strong in the sense that like you could compete with a really good team and wipe them. No, he's strong in the sense that he's just good. Like, he's a great killer to use. He's fun, he's good, and you're chilling. Like, you could get some damage done with him for sure, 100%. And you could do really well on controller, in my opinion. He has decent movement on the map with his little clones that's all over the map. You could teleport pretty easily. Even his little red rocket, you could do some things with the red rocket. If you know what the red rocket is, you spit the little goop at them, you chilling. He's a really good killer. So I think, out of respect for the list, I do think he's lower than the Nurse for sure, right? I think he's somewhere around the Wraith, like somewhere near the Wraith, but I don't think he's better than the Wraith. I think the Wraith for controller players is still better, 100%. But I do think you could get jiggy with him for sure. So I will put him like here. I'll put him in the middle of the B tier. I think he's a lot of fun to use, but he's also a really good killer in general. He's just good. I like him. He's solid. My boy, the Leash, bruh. He's a really good killer. He's also not super mechanically, like, demanding. He has 4 functions, and the 4 functions are pretty simple to use and not that hard. Like, very simple to use and pretty straightforward. He also, at times, can feel very, not overwhelming. That's not the word I'm looking for. Oppressive. Like, he's literally just a killer that's annoying if somebody's very optimal with playing with him, and you can do that on a controller. You could do that on a controller. You could definitely be like a super annoying leash. Like, you definitely can, bro. From holding the pallet to throwing the little skulls at them, you can be a problem. And he's really not mechanically like demanding, bro. You have 4 functions. You literally throw the Pokeball at people, bro, the Dragon Ball, whatever. You could poke the skulls at them. You can hold the pallet. There's literally only like 4 functions, bro. It's not that hard, man. It's very simple to use. So I think that alone, and if you optimize your game style to use him correctly, he's really fucking good. Like, I'm talking about like up here good, like SA tier good. Like, he's one of those type of killers. He's super strong. The Pyramid Head, Plague, and Artist, he's literally in this list with them. So like, if I had to pick a spot for him, it would definitely be... I'll probably put him like here, right behind the Plague. The Plague gets the edge on him simply because she has the pools of blood, and she also can corrupt every single gen with her damn puke.
Katana.